So what's been going on?
Kids.
Oh, yeah.
School's out, and so the kids are home. They're home a lot.
Yes, it has started.
It has started, that is for sure. It's only been this week. It still feels like it's been forever. I'm like, they're ready to go back, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, we've got activities planned. It's just they're dispersed, or they're spread out through the summer, so that we're not doing stuff all the time. But
yeah, we have 1 week where they're all gone at camp together.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah,
that helps.
But yeah, everything else is pretty much spread out. And Kaylee just started working, so I just got back from picking her up. She texted me at 3:15. Yeah. She's like, I'm done working. Can you come pick me up? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm in a meeting. So she texted Aaron. Aaron didn't see it until about 5 minutes ago. She started texting, oh my gosh, I just saw this. Did you talk to your dad? And then I walked in. I'm like, yeah, I got her.
Yeah.
I didn't forget about your child.
How far away is she working?
Not even 10 minutes.
10-minute drive or 10-minute walk?
10-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
No, she can outwalk there.
Because she can't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, could she, or just be pretty long walk?
No, she couldn't.
She couldn't. Okay.
I had to get on the highway for an exit.
Oh, you do? Okay, there you go. All right, well, that's different. Yeah. So where'd she end up?
Steph's Pizza, Stefanina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Stefanino's. Yeah, back in the day, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not Stefanino's anymore. Now they dropped the Eno's part of it. It's just Steph's.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So it's really disappointing. They moved. They used to be in the shopping center where Brody used to work out.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So that would have been nice. Then she could have walked.
Yeah. Well, what about the movie theater by the house? Did she ever give any thought to that?
No, we didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Because she's following in your footsteps for sure.
Yeah. Starting with pizza
place.
I don't think she's going to find a video rental place.
Yeah, I know, right? She's not going to find that. That would be the only one that she wouldn't be able to replicate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Brady, he's gone to his orientation. His orientation was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there really isn't much to orient, I guess, if you could say. It's more a matter of you learn on the job, man. So you got to do it that way.
So where did he go?
Kokomo Joe's.
Oh, okay.
The Kokomo's. And he's ready to work. He's ready. They just haven't added him to the schedule. So I think the manager that's in charge of the schedule, she's a little flighty, I guess is the word I'll use, whatever. So
yeah.
He's ready. It's just we hasn't been added on yet, so he's been sitting at home. And I'm like, this is driving me nuts that he's just sitting at home.
Yeah.
But his volunteer hours for next year for school, they restart today, so we're going up tonight to go get him already started up for the next year on getting his volunteer hours out of the way. And he has a driving course to do on Saturday, so we've got things to do, and we're busy with some projects. It's just during the day while you're working, when your kids, I am bored. I'm like, oh my God, this is why you need to be in school 12 months a year.
Yeah.
This
Dad,
summer break just doesn't work anymore. It's like,
Dad, can you come upstairs? I need help for a minute. Go up.
Yep,
it's like a 40-minute project. I'm like, I can't help you right now for 40 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I want to go to the pool. I can't take you to the pool.
Yeah.
And plus the pool's not even open. Knock it off. They're not even. Our pool's only open on the weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday for us for our pool.
Gotcha.
So, and when they want to go during the week, can't take you. So,
yep.
What do you want me to do about that? So,
we'll get you a little plastic pool from the backyard.
Oh, I had them run through the sprinkler yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, I turned the sprinkler on. I was like, run through it. And they're like, this isn't the pool. I was like, it'll be fun. Just do it. And then, of course, so. And then got the water guns out. And so, yeah, it turned out all right. But yeah, I'm already done with summer.
Yeah.
I'm already really done, to be honest with you. But we'll get through it, like always. And then be already back at it before you know it.
Yep.
So, yeah, other than that, nothing, no drama to share, I don't think. Nothing's really going on. Yeah, just dealing with getting out of school, getting through the last week of school. And that was what was so crazy why we didn't get connected last week. It was just a busy week.
Yeah.
And then,
it was probably for the best because we went to Kansas City the next day.
Oh, yeah? What did you guys do in Kansas City?
I got Aaron tickets to Cirque du Soleil.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And we just made it into an overnight trip because we got tickets to City SC.
There you go. Cool.
So yeah, we stopped in Columbia, dropped the kids off at my brother's, went to Kansas City, got there in time to eat dinner, go to the show, went back, went to sleep, got up, walked around KC a little bit in the morning, drove back to Columbia, went to a brewery with my brother, pick up the kids, got home, had about an hour to nap, and then off to the game.
So yeah, no, it's been a hot minute. So what's on our docket for the day?
So I finished reading Project Hail Mary.
There you go. Okay. All right. So as far as your ranking of the author's 3 novels that he has out, where do you rank this one?
This is in the middle of the 3.
Okay.
It was really good. I mean, I've liked everything he's done. I didn't know what to expect going in. So when I can't think of the character's name, but when he makes contact with the alien, with Rocky, that kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't know there were going to be aliens in the book.
Exactly. I mean, this book, it took a twist that I was not prepared for, to be honest with you. It seemed like it was going to be a natural disaster kind of book, like almost like Armageddon. Like we've got to solve this problem. But
well, and I thought 2 was going to be The Martian, where it was a lot more grounded in reality. Where
he went completely. But I'm glad he did. He did something because otherwise it would have been just The Martian, right? We didn't want to have to do that again. So basically taking a whole new approach for sure. Yeah.
To me, it was like a mixture of The Martian and Artemis, where Artemis was the more sci-fi book, and The Martian was more grounded in reality. I could see this actually happening. So this was somewhere in the middle of the 2, but it worked.
Now, mind you, it looks like, according to the interwebs, Project Hail Mary will be directed by Lord and Miller with Ryan Gosling as our main character, which I am not okay with that casting whatsoever. He does not fit the casting at all.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I don't.
And
see
by the
that.
way, his name was Grace. Ryland Grace.
Yes.
Yeah. But then again, he didn't really use Ryland's name. Wasn't said very much. Dr. Grace was said a lot.
Or Rocky just called him Grace.
Yeah, exactly. And so it has a movie there, I think, but with Lord and Miller tied to it, I go, I don't know, because they're comedy guys. They're the Lego Batman, Lego movie, and 21 Jump Street,
and they're known for
comedy by any means.
And they're known for a lot more improv type stuff because that was part of the problem with them doing the Star Wars movie with Solo.
Now, and they're also the Spider-Verse guys as well.
Right.
Drew Goddard's attached to it as a screenwriter.
Okay.
So that's a good sign because
that is
Daredevil, stuff like that. I just really, 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 really hate Ryan Gosling in the role. I don't see him fitting the Grace role whatsoever.
Definitely.
If you're going to ask me how do I fan cast it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I would go with it. And maybe his name's attached to it, but maybe it's not written in stone kind of thing. But
see, because I didn't picture a Ryan Gosling type. I pictured more like a Steve Carell. That look.
I didn't picture a Steve Carell in my mind when reading the book.
Not like characters he's had, but just the general style. Like a guy that a little bit older, probably.
No, see, I pictured him as a young guy. I did. As a younger guy.
I thought
especially being a middle school science teacher.
Yeah, but I also think he'd been a middle school science teacher for a while, and that was after his science career. So I saw him a little bit older, but still in a place where he could be on a space mission.
I'm trying
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give you who I was thinking.
Okay.
I'm kind of picturing Charlie Day was who I was kind of picturing.
Ooh. I could see that.
Yeah. As Ryan Grace.
Yeah, I could really see that based off... because everything is from his point of view, and the way he just looked at everything, I could see that.
Yeah, but you kind of just do that. You kind of give a picture of like who would you look like, or what does this voice sound like? Paul Rudd would fit as well. Paul Rudd could fit it. I see that. But here I'm on fan casting. Krasinski, I can see Krasinski as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's the middle school science teacher thing that's thrown me. Someone like Krasinski or Ryan Gosling.
I'm going to throw some other names at you here. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot, actually. Martin Starr.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. He'd be a dark horse for sure to try to get that one. But Thomas Middleditch, there's your you got that connection there.
I could see that.
Someone put Chris Pratt. I'm like, no, not Pratt.
No.
I don't think so. Oh, Jay Baruchel. I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, those type of guys are leaning into the nerdy science teacher.
Yeah. Andy Samberg, to be honest with you, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he'd just be a little too goofy. Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. Maybe.
He
you can't do Matt Damon. You can't do that. That'd be too weird, in my opinion.
Ryan.
And then Evan Peters would be a pretty good one, too, I think.
Ryan Reynolds, I don't think would work. I think he could do it, but you would see Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, he's Ryan Reynolds and everything.
Right.
So, I mean,
he's gotten to the point where majority of his roles are his Deadpool role, just in a different movie. Kind of like The Rock is always The Rock and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as Rocky, I guess we make him animated or, CGI. But the thing is, he doesn't really have would you just use subtitles? Because he doesn't really speak our language. For the most, he's able to translate it, and they come up with a translation for his sounds he makes. But technically, he doesn't speak.
But having Grace's kind of internal monologue, I think you could do it. Because, I mean, if you look at, like, Chewbacca in Star Wars, never once did you know what he was saying, but it was just how the reaction was to it and what they replied back.
Yeah.
So it's doable.
I mean, there's a lot, and I like the time jumps a lot. I really do.
I did too, because the twist of him being drugged and forced to go was huge. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, here's a great name. Great name we didn't talk about. Simon Pegg.
Okay, yeah.
Man, he would be great. Oh, man, he would kill it, dude, for real. Because someone said Andrew Garfield. He might be pretty good at it, too. But no, I like Simon Pegg a lot. I really do.
Or Nick Frost, who's in everything with Simon Pegg.
He could play Rocky. Typecasting a little bit, sure, but hey, if they're going to let him speak, whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
God, I really hope they drop the Ryan Gosling. That's so horrible.
Yeah.
That's really bad. I'm just not a big fan. I'm just not.
I don't mind him, but I can't see him in the role.
Yeah, I'm not down with that. I give it a thumbs down. I'm already, if that's really what's going to happen if the movie actually moves forward, I'm just not okay with it. But getting back to I just focus on the book a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just the time jumps back and forth were really interesting. I don't think you'll ever say the word astrophage as much as you read in that book.
Oh yeah.
But the ups and downs where you had hope and then the author just completely crushes you. You're like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, he played with your emotions a lot.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I cried one time really hard. I did. I just had to stop reading after that part.
Yeah.
Are we doing full spoilers?
Yeah, let's go full spoilers.
When I thought Rocky was dead,
yes.
I went into my son. He read it before me, and I was like, "You didn't tell me he might die." Because Rocky is just the best. Rocky was incredible. I loved Rocky.
Yeah.
I had just super emotional when that happened. And then the ending, did you predict the ending? I didn't think the ending would go the way it did. I just didn't.
No, I didn't either.
It was one of those where I felt like, it's one of those where you think, okay, we've got our perfect ending. Let's just go ahead and close this one up. And then in some ways, there's movies out there we've talked about where they just go on a little too long.
Yeah.
This one didn't do that. It didn't feel like that, where you had that extra little ending going on there. And you're just like, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful way to end this. And it fits so perfectly for the Grace character, just being since he was so ostracized from academia for his
incorrect.
What was
theory.
it? He was like saying that life, his incorrect theory that life could exist without hydrogen
water
and carbon, I guess.
Without water.
Yeah, without
yeah.
yeah. So, and there was a good argument. I mean, his paper was like there could be, it's just you can't prove that it's impossible. And what was I was pulling for him so hard that maybe there was, that maybe that this was going to be his redeeming moment. And the fact that the author then pulls that rug out underneath you as well is just like, man, you really are kicking this guy when he's down. And the fact that they made Grace so vulnerable, and the fact that they played on his fears and being true and honest, just going, I don't want to do this. I don't want to die. And he was so natural and so real that most people wouldn't be, those volunteers that knew they were going on a suicide mission,
Yeah. Well, in his reasoning for doing it, I mean, I know a lot of teachers that really get attached to their students, and I could totally believe that would be the reason why he enjoys being in the classroom with them and being part of their lives.
Yeah. And the fact that he was pretty much set up as the perfect character that had pretty much zero attachment to Earth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know he had fears and he didn't want to, but the fact that he didn't have a significant other, a wife, children, a marriage to come back to, he turns out to be the perfect candidate. But it was so cool the way they did it in regards to needing someone that could be, what was it, when you go into a coma resistant or whatever the phrase was. I'm trying to remember. That was really creative. And then I sit there in awe of people that write books like this, just going, how do you have this much creativity? And it's not even just creativity. There's the real science behind a lot of that, and you have to do so much research to go, is it plausible? Is any of this stuff that I'm making up plausible? And if it is plausible, how did I come up with it to begin with?
Yeah.
So incredible. And you could tell that the author's super into the space program. That's just one of his passions.
Yeah. Well, I know with The Martian that people shot down a lot of stuff that could have happened in it.
Yeah.
But they said, but if you don't know the science, it seems realistic. So enjoy it.
It's fiction, of course. Yeah. This is all fiction.
Yeah.
but make my fiction, don't make it so out there that it's not even considerably in the realm of possibility. I love that fact that in his work that you're like, yeah, when you're thinking about it, I'm not an astrophysicist by any means, but this sounds like it'd be right.
Yeah.
Based off of nothing other than the fact that it sounds good and all of it could make common sense to go, yeah, this can make sense. Yeah. Everything about it, the astrophase, the theories, the space travel, being in a coma that long. I love the thought process that has to go. I guess you sit down with your outline, and those are things I'd love to ask if I were talking to the author, going, how do you do that? You sit down with your outline going, okay, this is my beginning of where I come up with my problem, and then I had to come up with the middle piece, of the plot there, saying, how do I get there to start working on the problem? That phase alone seems so difficult to me. And I'm like thinking, you have to think about, from a medical standpoint, we're going to use robots, and they introduce the person that creates the robot, that's going to flip him over so he doesn't get bed sores, stuff like that. The minor details are actually very major details. It's so incredible that people have that talent, that he's able to do something like that. And it just goes to show you that, man, I'm really dumb compared to other really talented people that are they just blow you out of the park, man. They're just like, man, you are really good at what you do. And this book was incredible. Yeah. Loved it.
So the problem with a book like this is I never know what to read after it, because I know whatever comes after it is going to let me down.
Mm. Well, maybe read something nonfiction, something like that. That might help cleanse your palate for something a little bit,
Yeah, I actually tried, I think, 3 books before I actually found one I could get into, and it's actually a Star Wars book.
Yeah.
So that's far enough away from it. It's the second book of the High Republic. I don't remember the name of it offhand, but it's a young adult book that sets. All right, I don't want to say I got burnt out in Star Wars books.
Mm-hmm.
But the last one I read was the first one of the High Republic, and I was underwhelmed by it. And I just haven't felt like going back to it since then. And so I tried a couple books, and I was trying to find something. And Will was in there, and Will was asking me about Star Wars books. And he's like, well, just grab the next one, the High Republic, and see what you think. I'm like, okay. And it's actually so much better. But the author is a Star Wars writer that I really like, so it made it a lot better.
Who's the author?
It's Claudia Gray. She did
Lost Stars.
Yep, Lost Stars. And she did.
I still haven't read it. I still need to. I really want to. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's one of my favorite canon books.
Yeah. And so that's still canon, okay? Because when we last spoke, I've been trying to get through Heir to the Empire, which it's actually really good. It's just it's a 500-page book, so it's not a short, quick read by any means.
So,
I haven't lost interest. I just am a little sad reading it.
Yeah,
knowing that it's legacy. None of this means anything except for the fact Dave Filoni's going to be doing something with Heir to the Empire. Apparently, from what I'm reading,
from all the rumors, Dave Filoni's making Heir to the Empire as his movie. So
why are we making a legacy movie when it's not going to be? Or is he making it canon?
It's going to be canon.
Just a one shot, just because he wants to make it.
I think he wants to tie everything into that. And find a way to introduce Mara Jade.
Okay.
So,
which I read a long post on her yesterday. I don't know if you saw anything about her on Facebook yesterday, but it was a long thing where she was part of the Sith and she was a Dark Apprentice or something like that.
Yeah.
And eventually she started training. It was Luke's niece, but it wasn't one of the twins, I think, or something like that. I'm trying to remember what her name was, unless it was one of the twins from Leia and Han.
I think Jaina was the only female niece he had. Because there was Jason and Jaina, and then there was Anakin.
Okay. So, hold on. Because Mara Jade is Luke's wife, or something like that, right?
Yes, they get married in Legends.
Okay. So and then just her path from the dark side to the light, and then she's like high up in the Jedi Order or something like that at some point. I know that. So.
I think so. I mean, I read the early Legends stuff, and then there was just so much. And the age I got to, I was like, I stopped reading in college. So anything before college, I was into.
Yep.
But the Dave Filoni stuff is supposed to tie up all the shows they're working on that are in that time period. So Ahsoka, Mandalorian, all that stuff is supposed to be tied up there, which means Thrawn. We knew Thrawn was returning. They've already shown him in the Ahsoka trailer. So it makes sense that this would be kind of an adaptation of the book while still trying to be part of the canon.
Because last we saw Thrawn was at the end of Rebels when the
Purgles took him off.
Yeah, and did he put the ship in hyperspeed or something like that, or something? I'm trying to remember what he did.
The Purgles can travel in hyperspace.
Yeah.
So he called them all, and they went off into hyperspace, and you don't know where.
Okay, that's what I remember from that.
Because then the ending scene of Rebels was Ahsoka coming to Lothal to pick up Sabine so they could go search for him.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Okay.
But then I think everything in Mandalorian has come after that point.
Okay. Because, I'll say Heir to the Empire is better because of Rebels. It's because I have a voice and what Thrawn looks like already in my head, and I can use his voice to play to the character, and he makes him that much more of an intriguing character. He's so precise, he's cunning, he's I don't want to say he's deceitful, but he's like a chess master that's always like 7 moves ahead of everybody else. He's really a great tactician as far as I know. I'm going to get further into it, and he's going to make for a great villain.
Yeah. So
I get further into the story, and
as being someone that's opposite of you, they did him perfect in canon, because the look was exactly how I imagined. I don't really necessarily remember the voice I had back then because I was in high school when I read those.
Yep.
But when they introduced him, I was just in awe because that was exactly the image I had of him.
Yeah.
So after you finish that trilogy, you should go and read the first canon trilogy that Timothy Zahn did because it's really good. I never finished the second trilogy he did, which is set before he joins the Empire.
Before Thrawn joins the Empire?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, okay, well, because, man, I didn't realize how many books Timothy Zahn has actually written for. He's a major Star Wars writer. That's like his big thing.
Well,
right?
He's done 5 legend books and 6 canon books, and he's working on something else new.
Because here, Timothy Zahn's first book in the Star Wars franchise was Heir to the Empire, which followed the events of after Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. He later released Dark Force Rising as a sequel to the former, and later concluded the trilogy with Last Command.
Yes.
So that's his first trilogy, right?
Yes.
And then, let's see, every Star Wars book written by Timothy Zahn. I'm pulling up something here.
And then he did what's called the Zahn duology, or Thrawn duology, I don't remember. But it's 2 stories later on.
Because then you have, and it says it's canon, you have Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good, Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil.
That's the second trilogy he did for canon.
Okay,
but it's in the timeline, it's first.
Then there's just Thrawn.
Yes.
There's a Thrawn comic.
Adaptation.
Thrawn Alliances.
Yep.
Thrawn Treason.
Yep.
This is Legend, the Choices of One. But Choices of One is a Mara Jade book.
Okay. I didn't actually know about that one.
Yeah. Then you have so Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising. So it's Dark Force Rising and Last Command, the next 2 I'd read in that first series, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. And then I thought he did something called like Aftermath and stuff like that.
No, he didn't do Aftermath. Aftermath was the second canon book that came out. And truthfully, there's some of my least favorite canon stuff that's been made.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
It's set, so it pretty much does the Battle of Jakku.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the first book when it came out, and then when the second book came out, I didn't remember a single thing that happened in the first book. Like, I had to go to Wikipedia and catch up on what I had already read because I couldn't remember a single thing about it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. So I've got books. And what's so crazy is I've been off comics now for too long because just to kind of go off a big old tangent, I have not been reading comics because I was reading the Star Wars book, and that just takes up a lot of time. Yeah. And I'm also currently reading Tom Sawyer. So I'm reading stuff that are 2 ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Which I'd read Tom Sawyer when I was a kid, but it was kind of like a children's adaptation that made it a little bit easier to read back then, and this one's more accurate to the language of the time, which is not difficult to understand at all, to be honest with you. You can follow all of it. It's when they talk in quotes, when their characters are talking to each other versus the narrator talking to you, kind of walking you through the plot. Yeah. That part's easy. The talking to each other, you can still figure out what's being said. But super, super enjoying it. It's so fun. It's such an adventure book.
I hate the titles.
I'm reading through this thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why this is American classic. It is. It's a classic, and it's great. And then trying to explain to the kids about the whitewashing the fence. We might have talked about this last time, but just having to explain to them about how Tom basically deceived them by doing his act about the whitewashing. That was great. That was really, really fun. So
I got a lot. I can't lie to you. It's a blind spot. I've never read it.
You should. I'm going to highly recommend it. It's quick to read through. It's a 300-page book, and I'm thinking I'm about 40 pages away from being done with it. And then after that, I'll probably flip back over to try to finish Heir of the Empire, just to get through at least. I want to get through some Star Wars books. They're hard to get through. They're not the fastest reads to me, just because they're not the movie. They're not the movies. You know what I mean? And I'm always picturing the movies when I'm reading through these things. And I'm also always struggling trying to remember where I am with the timeline. Like when you say Battle of Jakku, Battle of Yavin, yeah, all these battles that you're trying to replace. I'm trying to remember where. Like I always tell you, I need my whiteboard that shows me where everything occurs in the proper timeline. And is this legacy? Is this canon? Where do the video games fit in? You have all these other characters that are all these side pockets that you're like, the universe is just so big to follow. And then you take that, and then you got your DC universe, you got your Marvel universe, and then you've got your non-big 2 universes. Like you got the Invincible universe, if you're going to talk about that universe as far as a comic book. All these universes that you're trying to remember. Game of Thrones. Trying to remember where everything falls in Game of Thrones and the history of that. My brain can only handle so many different universes and trying to remember timelines. It's a struggle. It really, really is. And I enjoy all of it, but trying to keep it straight is hard for me, man. I have a very difficult time doing that.
See, my brain is wired differently where that just comes naturally.
Yeah.
So, but going into comics, I finished Well, I didn't finish Metal. I've got a trade. I've got to track down. But I'm like, well, I'm going to jump into Knightfall.
Okay.
I got Omnibus 1 and 2 for Christmas, and I already had 3. So I'm like, it's been, 35 years since that came out? Let's go for it.
Well, I'm trying to think. Is it? I guess how many trades of Knightfall are there? Because I'm looking. I've just typed it in right now. Of course, you get the cover of Bane breaking his back.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess how many? I'm pulling up Knightfall here on Wikipedia. I'm trying to
200 pages into the first omnibus.
Oh my god! Because then it goes from here. Okay, according to Wikipedia, you got a prelude, then you got Knightfall, Knight's Quest, Night Quest the Crusade, Night Quest the Search, Knight's End, Aftermath.
And I believe it's all in the 3 books I have.
It is. Oh my gosh, it's a big undertaking, that's for sure. Because that's how they break it down: Nightfall, Night Quest, Knight's End, Aftermath.
Yeah, and so like the first thing in the book is the Chuck Dixon. I think it was Chuck Dixon. Kind of origin story of Bane.
Okay.
Which is kind of like Dark Knight Rises, but it's different because there's no Talia in it. First off, but just his father was a criminal and he was never caught, but his mother was caught while she was pregnant. So where they were at, he had to serve the prison term. So he was born in the prison. And eventually he gets put in with general population. All these guys are preying on him as sexual predators. Something happens and he just snaps and he kills somebody and he becomes the guy in the prison.
So where did you pick up an omnibus of this?
I found the first 2 on Amazon, and I got the third one on eBay as part of a big bulk Batman lot I bought.
Really? Okay, because I'm looking at
they're paperback.
Omnibus of Knightfall.
They're paperback.
It's like $200. Did you drop $200 to buy it?
No. These were paperback ones that were $30, $40 a piece.
Oh, here you go. Knightfall Omnibus. You can get it on Kindle for $4.
Yeah.
That's the hardcover here that I'm looking at. But there's another hardcover one that's $245. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, I didn't do hardcover for those.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just curious because but you didn't even do the prelude to Knightfall. I wonder if that was important to read that.
It might be in there.
Oh, it might be in the omnibus you have. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm wondering, is this all on the DC app too? That'd be, with these because did you do No Man's Land at one point?
We got all the trades of that too.
Oh, okay.
So if you go on Amazon and you do the paperback version, you can get the first one for $21.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. That's Knightfall 3, Prelude to Knightfall, Batman Night Quest Crusade, Batman Knightfall Omnibus Volume 1. That's hardcover. Yeah, Batman Knightfall. That's just Volume 1. That's not an omnibus though. There's no way it's an omnibus. But yeah, it's $21, but that's not an omnibus. That's just Volume 1. Where did my other thing go? Yeah, Batman Knightfall Omnibus, $20.97 for a paperback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. But like I said, yeah. But then if you get the Kindle version, $4. $4.
So
sorry, $10 for that. $10 for that one. I had credits. I didn't realize I had credits.
So the only problem I'm having is they reference stuff that didn't happen in the actual book.
Oh, okay.
And so it gets a little confusing at times. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. It's a good...
Cool. And Chuck Dixon, he's a good writer. I always loved his Robin stuff.
His Robin and his Nightwing were awesome.
Yeah. So no, I'm aware of the story. We're all aware of the story. It'd just be a matter of if you go back and do it. Because how many omnibuses are there? You said there's 3 of them?
Yeah, I think there's only 3. At least I assume so. I got 1 and 2 because I already had 3. So if there's more, I'll go track them down.
Okay, so I'm glad you're liking that. That's awesome. I mean, but the data stuff's always hard to get through too, just because the language is older, the art's really older. Sometimes they just write too much instead of letting the art speak for some of it.
Yeah. There was a lot of narrative. And it's the same thing I saw with all the Infinity Gauntlet stuff. Was your characters would explain what's going on. Yeah, instead of leaving it to the art like they do now sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for Omnibus Volume 2.
There's a lot of monologues.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right, that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying that. And then, hey, how come I'm seeing in the comic shop? Are they re-releasing like Walking Dead? But
color version.
What is it?
It's a color version.
Oh, colored version is what they're doing with it. Okay, yeah. I haven't even picked it up off the shelf to go, what's this different about? I was like, they're really trying to squeeze every last penny they can out of that series that's done. It has been done for quite some time now at this point. I find that to be a little funny.
I mean, can you tell me a thing Kirkman's done since?
No, I can't. But he's got his TV projects because you're gonna have the Maggie and Negan TV. I'm sure he's involved with that somehow. But from a comic book standpoint, no, I don't know. Let me see.
He did a book called Outcast. I don't know anything about it. And then
I liked it. I didn't keep up with it, but the first trade was really good.
But I want to say that was happening during Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He had another one that was kind of a sci-fi book. I don't remember the name of it. I never got the last trade of it, though.
Let's see here. Here we go. Let's go down the list here. We got Battle Pope, Brit, Clementine, which Clementine is based. That's a Walking Dead book. That's off the video game. I don't know if you ever played the video game with Clementine in it.
No, I haven't.
That's good. Die, Haunt, Invisible, Oblivion Song.
Oblivion Song is the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Outcast, as a Seta, Super Dinosaur, which I love. Super Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Tech Jacket, The Astounding Wolfman, which I love. The Astounding Wolfman. Don't know if you ever dove in that one. That's really good.
No, I didn't.
The Walking Dead and Void Rivals. But here's the question: if I click on Oblivion Song, when did that get? Okay, Oblivion Song. That's current because August 9th of 2023 is when you get the compendium. That's compendium.
Compendium,
though.
Yeah. And
that's when you get a compendium.
Because I have the first 5 trades.
Okay.
And 6 came out at the end of last year.
Volume 6 trade paperback came out July 13th of 22.
Okay, maybe not into last year.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm going to assume is the series done?
Yeah, I think Volume 6 was the last one.
Yeah, because it says Robert Kirkman confirms the end of his Image Skybound comic book series Oblivion Song. That was from February 24th of 21 is when he made the announcement. So I'm going to assume Volume 6 was the end of it. Is it worth diving into, or is it not even that good?
I liked it. It's about kind of think Stranger Things,
okay,
where there's a parallel area, but instead of like them breaching, it flips, and so all these people that were in this area went over to like this alien land, and this alien land kind of took over the spot on Earth for a bit. Okay. And so your protagonist is trying to find his brother who disappeared.
Well, and here's the other funny part was when I brought up, Clementine. Mm-hmm. He's not even writing it; someone else is writing it. It's just, but it's his character. So,
well, because there was the online Walking Dead comic that was done, I think, by Brian K. Vaughan, and I never read that either.
Huh? I never knew about that one. What is Void Rivals? Let's see. Here you go. The blockbuster Oblivion Song team of Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici, I guess, debuted the biggest new comic book series of 2023 with the launch of an all-new shared universe and surprise you won't see coming. War rages around the Sacred Ring, where the last remnants of 2 worlds have collapsed around a black hole in a never-ending war. However, when pilot Darak and his rival Solila both crash on a desolate planet, these 2 enemies must find a way to escape together. But are they alone on this strange planet? And what dark forces await that threaten the entire universe? Void Rivals. Issue number 1 arrives June 14th of 2023.
Okay.
So possibly a number 1 to pick up and keep on your list there just in case.
Yeah.
Turns into the next Walking Dead number 1. That everyone wishes they had. I don't know about that one. I don't know. But if you're asking what's the last thing you heard of that he's done, this will be his most current one.
Yeah.
Would be so he's still working. I'm hoping that's he kind of understands. Hey, this is my bread and butter. I need to let that go. But hey, have you heard of something called Tenement? It's a Jeff Lemire project with Andrea Sorrentino and Dave Stewart.
I heard something about it. He that was the team that worked on. I can't think of it. It was a horror series I read from him.
Okay, but yeah, arriving June 21st, 2023. It's a mini series.
Okay.
From the team behind Gideon Falls.
Falls, that was it.
And 10,000 Black Feathers comes the biggest and most essential project yet in bold and ambitious new shared horror universe of the Bone Orchard mythos. 7 residents in a building and dark secrets that bind them together, beginning with a death that feels much more sinister than natural. Tenement is the newest entry into the Bone Orchard mythos, which I guess Bone Orchard is something else. I never heard of Bone Orchard.
I've heard of it. I think they did a free comic book day thing for it a few years ago.
Because, Bone Orchard is the 10,000 Black Feathers.
Okay.
I'm going to assume, is Gideon Falls part of Bone Orchard?
I don't know.
I need to know about Bone Orchard.
Yeah.
The Bone Orchard by Stets. That can't be it. No, it didn't bring up anything like that. But it was written by someone named Sarah Mueller. I'm like, that is not a comic writer that I'm aware of. So
no.
Yeah, here you go. The Bone Orchard Mythos is a comic book project consisting of limited series, graphic novels, and one-shots by Jeff Lemire and artist Andrea Sorrentino. But I've never actually seen like a Bone Orchard book. But yeah, Prelude Shadow Eater was a free comic book day book in 2022. So maybe you had the you had the book from last year. Okay. And then it says The Passageway was the first major story in the series. I don't know if you heard of The Passageway.
No.
And then 10,000 Black Feathers, and then Tenement, and then for Halloween. Well, this was basically that's 2023 release, but Starseed was from Halloween 2022. Oh, but no, I'm sorry. He announced it Halloween 2022. He'll release it at the end of 23.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they're saying critics praise the debut OGN original graphic novel, The Passageway. So, 94% on the League of Comic Geek readers. So it's got a high rating for The Passageway. So, might want to pick that up. But yeah, finding the Bone Orchard Mythos Prelude would be awesome. So you kind of see what you're kind of stepping into. Check around, see if you got that. Because I know I don't. I know for a fact I don't have it. But see if you have it. I'd be interested in taking a look at that.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as reading, no, I need to. Trust me, I've got my long reading list, and I do have some vacation coming up here, which I don't know if I have time to actually sit down and actually read anything. But I know I have long lists of stuff to read. Yeah, I'm so behind on everything. That's not even funny. But yeah. And then other than that, I'm not reading anything. I'm just going to finish up that. And I have Huck Finn from the library as well. I'm just going to try to read that, I think, maybe. But either read Huck Finn or I'll jump back to Star Wars. I can't decide which way I'll go.
So I have Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. I've had them since I was like 7 years old. Never read them. Yeah. So I might have to go to them.
Yeah, you'll blow through Tom Sawyer. It's really fast read. Yeah. It's fun reading. I think the kid, and if you ask, is it appropriate language for the kids? Yeah, it is. You just have to explain to them it was the times. Yeah, some of the words from the times. So just, I don't want to say get over it, but just accept it. It is what it is. You can't. It's not like and most of the time it's not even in a bad sense. Yeah, it's just the terminology of the day. Yep. So, I guess other than the stuff we're reading, what else did you have on the docket?
Nothing. I got a bunch of stuff I watched over the last 2 weeks.
All right. Start your list. What you got?
All right. Did you ever see Samaritan?
No, that's the one with Sylvester Stallone, though. I passed over it a bunch of times just because I'm not a big Stallone fan right now. I don't know why. But
I passed over it a lot, too, and I finally sat down and watched it. It was pretty good.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. And it's comic-y. I know it's a comic book-y thing, I think. Was it actually a book?
No, it wasn't. I think it was original Amazon Prime thing.
Okay.
So it's worth checking out.
Okay. What's the premise? What's my synopsis?
This kid in kind of a bad neighborhood believes his neighbor used to be the superhero Samaritan.
Okay.
And he kind of gets mixed up with the bad people, and Stallone reveals, yes, he had powers.
Okay. Sounds a little bit like Unbreakable.
Kind of, but rather than the sun testing him, and because in Unbreakable he didn't realize.
Yeah.
In Samaritan, Stallone is hiding.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, but worth checking out. Is it a long one?
Hour 45, I think, somewhere in there.
That's not bad.
No,
that's not bad.
No,
okay.
Not 3 hours. So.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went a little bit on a deep dive on Apple TV.
Ooh, hit me. What you got?
Okay, so the first one was Still, a Michael J. Fox film. It's a documentary about
I tried it, man. Yeah, I tried, and I just got about 5 minutes, and it just was really... I didn't like how it was kind of... I don't know. It was him narrating more than anything, and they're kind of using...
They were using his book as the basis for the movie.
Okay.
And you got a sense of his struggles, and then like the flashbacks were all like that Dark Side of the Ring kind of acted thing where you can't see the faces.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, that's what I was. There you go. Good way to explain it. Yeah. That's, and I guess that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But is it worth me going to revisit and trying to get through it?
I've been a giant fan of his because my grandfather had Parkinson's.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, seeing his struggle and then seeing this big celebrity with the same thing and kind of getting the word out about it, it's always had a soft spot in my heart. Yeah. So when I saw that, I knew I had to watch it. And it's a really good story. It's really sad to see how far he's, I don't want to say fallen, but that's what...
The disease is taken. It's not who he was. You know, he's a completely different person than who he was because of the disease. Well, he has no control over it. So,
and it does show you where he's at today, and like they have to sit there for like 5 minutes until he can get to the point where he can speak, or he goes with a physical therapist outside just to walk, and he just collapses, and like people around him like freak out because he just falls over, and he's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal."
What a shame.
Yeah.
What an absolute shame. And I'm curious, and this is a really off tangent, but with what Elon Musk is doing with the Neuralink, I don't know if you've been seeing any clips about that lately.
Not really.
It's not going public as far as a company with investors or anything like that. But from what they're saying is a chip implanted in your brain could almost be like a cure for stuff like this.
Yeah.
And like if they could cure Parkinson's with this chip in your brain, how fast would people, start dropping tons of money to regain control of their lives? I think that would be amazing. It's just the technology is just not there. Where I think the FDA didn't approve human trials or something like that.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's super interesting. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole thinking about that stuff, you're just like with AI coming down the pike, and it's here, kind of, but it's not widespread where everyone's using it just yet. But the technology that could be coming down the way, it's like, the future is just a scary thing where science fiction is becoming reality, and that's scary sometimes,
Yeah. Here comes Skynet.
Yeah, to say the least, right? So,
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, still, I'm aware of it. I started it, just turned it off because it was just uncomfortable to watch, and the kids were kind of coming in and out. And I was like, I didn't really feel like explaining who he really was.
Yeah.
All the stuff he's been in and why this is a big deal because of because him as an actor, he was lively, he was sharp, he was funny, it's just, it's just crazy.
Like hearing the stories about filming Back to the Future, where he would film that at night and then go to the set of Family Ties during the day, and he'd get like 4 hours of sleep between the two.
Yep.
It was unreal.
And then he'd take cocaine to get through. No.
He didn't quite say it, but I think it was inferred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then I went with Cherry, with Tom Holland by the Russo brothers.
Oh, that's a rough one to get through, sir. That's really rough. And that's not a Tom Holland movie. I mean, you're like, that's not my Spider-Man. What's going on? That's like his Requiem for a Dream is what that thing is.
Yeah, and it's sad and depressing, and it's based off a real story.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of PTSD, I think, is what they were trying. I guess what you're going with there. Yeah.
Yep.
And the sad part being his impact on his girlfriend and just watching her fall down. You know what I mean? Just
him
pull
her
down the stairs kind of thing. Oh,
yeah,
just,
like him pull her down because she was just a promising college student.
Yeah.
But I mean, the stuff he went through in the Middle East, I mean, it would be hard to reintegrate into society because I mean, they showed how much he struggled just to sleep because of these nightmares of what he saw.
Yeah. I mean, this is not their first delve into the PTSD from the wars of the Middle East. It's just. Yeah, it's just seeing him in a completely different role, though. That was so crazy to see him.
Well, yeah, because
going from Spidey to this, it's like, wow, those are two far ends of the spectrum.
Well, and you get what was the crappy video game adaptation with Mark Wahlberg? Tom Holland did. Uncharted.
Yeah.
And he did Uncharted, and he did the one where I think it was the Amazon Prime one where he couldn't speak. Is that what it was? I don't remember. It was so bad.
No, there's one that's on Netflix though that if you haven't seen it, I can recommend it. Where it's called Devil All the Time.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
That's really good. I like that one. I'll highly recommend that. Check that one out.
And then we did Ghosted.
Ooh, how'd you like Ghosted?
It was so good, so fun.
And then the part I told you about.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, where his buddies show up. Yeah, buddy. Or Falcon and Soldier. So you're like, how do they do that? How do they get these guys to agree to do that? That was so great.
We're like, the whole MCU in this?
I know, right?
Where's Ryan Reynolds? Oh, there he is.
Oh, my God. Oh, that was so great. That was so funny. And he calls him, he's God, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I was cracking up. And it was so hard to watch because the whole time when he's the aloof one, where Ana de Armas is the hardcore badass one.
Yeah.
And like, come on, man, that's Cap. Don't do him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a rom-com. It was a great rom-com.
It was.
I don't make it anything further than what it is. It is what it was. And I thought he and her, they both had chemistry. Yep. The story was fun. It was original, a little bit different, you know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I did too. So then after that, we jumped over to Amazon Prime and watched Air.
Oh, boy. Tell me how much you like the Air. There we go.
When Matt Damon went into his little speech about what Michael was going to be, and then they started playing the actual clips, my eyes watered up, and I'm just like, oh, this is unreal. And then they showed the stuff about his dad dying and him going to baseball, and I'm like, I hope my family doesn't look at me because my eyes are all watery, and they're not going to understand this.
Yeah, I know. It was incredibly done. Matt Damon knocked it out of the park. He was so good in that. But, you know, and Bateman was great in his role.
Yeah. I mean, you see Chris Tucker for the first time in how long?
Oh, gosh. Who knows? And fitting real well. Did great. I don't think he overdid it. He fit the role perfectly.
And you never once see Michael. You see, like, the back of his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad for that actor, but...
Yeah, but then Viola Davis as his mom, right?
She was perfect.
Was it Viola Davis or was it Alfre Woodard? I can't remember.
I think it was Viola Davis.
Okay. Regardless, super good as Mike's mom. Super fun. But the fact that I love the part that I really enjoyed too was when he explained to her this is exactly what's going to happen when you go meet with the other people. That's from Adidas and then Converse.
Yeah,
and it went just like that. I was just laughing at that. I was like, that's great. But it just goes to show you how history changes, you know, on a turn of a dime, where it's just like one small decision and how different would history be, you know? So crazy.
Yeah, and
who would have thought a movie about a shoe would be that intriguing to watch?
Well, I know.
It was incredible.
And like, Aaron's like, are these real people or did they fictionalize them? I'm like, no, these are all real. Like, I know all these names.
Yep. Phil Knight for sure, right?
Yeah.
Just gosh, how many lives would have been impacted? You didn't realize. I guess the reason why it's so impactful is because how much Nike's ingrained in the culture and how basketball has now been ingrained in the culture and how it's not just a sport and it's not just a shoe, I guess, is how I kind of want to describe it. It's a culture, right?
Well,
so that's why it's so impactful.
I mean, it's transcended because, I mean, there's Jordan line of golf products.
Yeah.
I mean, Yachty had Jordan catcher equipment.
Yeah, I remember, when the ball stuck to his jersey or stuck to his chest protector. But no, I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you flipped over and took a look at that one. It was a lot better than I was expecting. It really was. It kind of blew me away that it was that good.
No, I expected a lot out of the movie, and it lived up to it. So I was very happy about that.
I'm glad you liked it.
And then we went back to Apple and watched Tetris.
Come on, man. How good was it?
God, that was unreal. And since those were the last two movies we watched as a family, they got compared because it's fictionalized versions of true events.
Yep.
And Will's like, oh, I love Tetris. It was the better of the two. I'm like, no. I'm like, you didn't live through the era. And Tetris was huge. And knowing that story now makes me appreciate it a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
But Michael Jordan was just another level.
Yep. I didn't have Tetris posters on my wall when I was a kid. I had Jordan posters on my wall, but I didn't have Tetris posters.
Yeah.
So that's different. But Tetris was just so good. Taron Egerton was great in it.
Oh, he was
so cool. And then basically just Russian bad government people. That was a great villain in the movie. And just the family dynamic, the struggle that he's having with trying to balance the work and life thing. Yep. That was great. And then just the trials and tribulations of trying to get a game off getting a game produced.
Yeah.
And just the backstabbing that occurred too. It was just like, wow.
Oh, I know. And that was crazy. I didn't go to look at this yet to see like how fictionalized it was. But I really want to find out.
No, the guy. That's what they show at the end of the movie. The one guy, the rich guy that basically bankrupted his company. That's real. They showed real clips of his son walking by the media, and he was.
They showed that stuff, but like, how much of the stuff in Russia happened the way it did?
Oh.
So like,
it might have been. I've been sensationalized a bit.
Yeah,
but still.
The car chase. Like that type of stuff.
That would be wild if that was real. But I don't put it. What's so crazy about Russia at that time in history? It could be very real. It could. It might not be sensationalized. I don't know, but it's movies like that you just know. You're thankful. Streaming is amazing in some ways. In other ways, there's just too much crap out there, and you're like, what am I really paying for? Am I really getting my dollar's worth with all this streaming crap?
Yeah.
But if streaming didn't exist, movies like this, I don't think they would ever live at the theater. Like, I don't ever think they would get produced.
Not today. And, I mean, even if they did, it would be back, like, 90s, like, the Tivoli that would be there. And, like, you'd go see it, and there'd be 7 people in the theater with you. And you'd be, like, one of 700 people to see it in the country.
Possibly, yeah. But they're not really art house movies either. These aren't those funky little college student project movies either. These are big productions, but they just, like you said, they're not spectacles to go out to the movie theater to see anymore.
Which is interesting because I don't think we'll ever see another comedy that really takes off at the theater. So, like, what was it? Bert Kreischer's movie.
The Machine.
Yeah, it bombed at the box office.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not the type of movie that's successful anymore. It's more the big action movies you have to go see in the theater or family movies.
At the box office, but the funny thing is I've heard nothing but rave reviews about how funny it is.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard it's really, really good. It's just no one's going to go see it. And I'm included. Like, I told Janice, like, I want to support him because I'm such a big fan of his work. And the guy busts his ass and supports his family.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes his money off the stories of his family, but, he's just trying to make it in – his stories are hilarious, and you want to support people like that. But to go to a movie these days with a family of 5, if you're going to go all out and see a movie, it's just the cost of tickets, and if you're going to get concessions to go along with it, that's $100 investment these days.
Yeah.
Very easily $100 investment. And it's like, do you really want to spend $100 to go see that? Or are you going to go see the Marvel movie? I'm going to go see the Marvel movie. That's the big spectacle.
And really, my family's not invested in a movie a story like that. Where I am. So it's like, I'm not going to, I would go to a movie by myself, but I would feel bad for leaving them behind, so I'm not going to do it. I'll wait till it's on streaming, and I'll watch it on my own.
Yeah, it's just like you said. You just wait for it to come out, and you'll watch it at that point. And maybe that's how it gets its second life. Maybe it'll become a cult classic kind of thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it will. So then, I don't know why it was leaving. It was leaving Max. I watched Empire of the Sun.
Empire of the Sun. Is that Christian Bale?
Christian Bale as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such
I'm aware of it, but it's a blind spot.
It's a really good movie, and I think it's leaving. I think it left HBO Max or Max now.
Yeah,
I think it left yesterday.
A young English boy struggles to survive under Japanese occupation of China during World War II.
It's got a great cast. It's got John Malkovich.
It's a Spielberg film.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Definitely worth seeing. It's got a cameo by a young Ben Stiller.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So, highly recommend it.
Yeah, let's see. Christian Bale, John Malkovich, Ben Stiller, Miranda Richardson. Let's see if there's anybody else that's... Joe Pantoliano.
Yes.
Joey Pants.
Yep.
Let's see. But the next 2 guys I don't recognize them.
Most of the other cast you probably wouldn't.
Let's see. And Queensberry, she's in stuff. You just have to see her face. If you were to ask me what else she's been in, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But she's one of those bit actors that she's in lots of stuff during the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know, who she played. Oh, Kate Blanchett's in it.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot she was.
Okay. And then everybody else, whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay. No, I'll have to put that on a list to try to check it out. So it's worth watching.
Yeah. Let's see. I saw this on Max. Rich and Shameless. It was a documentary series. I think that was on TNT. Looked at pop culture stuff, and I watched one episode because it was Pharma Bro versus the Wu-Tang Clan.
Rich and Shameless is what this one's called?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the gist is the Wu-Tang Clan made an album, and they wanted music to be considered like high art, so they made one master copy of it, never released it, and sold it off. And this guy, the Pharma Bro guy, the
guy that everyone hates.
Yes.
Yeah, they brought this up in what movie was that? And everyone hated, or was it a TV show? It was in something very recently. Very, very recently.
Yeah. So they made this album, and he bought it in an auction for $2 million.
Yeah.
And he got into a feud with Ghostface Killah, and he kept acting like he was going to release it, and he acted like he was a street thug like they were in their previous life. And it was so entertaining just to see all the video clips and the social media stuff they'd post to each other. I don't know if they got the rights back, but the government seized all his assets, including that. But they wanted this album to be like a work of art that you would see in a museum, and there's only one copy of it out there, and it's never been heard by anybody but them and him and whoever has it now.
Gotcha. And Pharma Bro is actually a movie on Hulu right now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's got a Stephen Colbert in it. It's documentary.
Yeah.
What it looks like. Yeah, documentary profiling Martin Shkreli, the financial entrepreneur and pharmaceutical tycoon from Brooklyn, New York, known for raising the price of an AIDS medicine.
He was a complete bag.
I thought this guy didn't he end up in jail?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because
maybe it was it Inventing Anna? I think it was
might have been where she was the fake socialite.
Yeah,
it might have been.
And then yes, Anna Delvey did know former hedge fund manager Martin Shkreli So I'm guessing that's where it was. I can't believe I pulled that one out of my butt there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's impressive.
I just know they portrayed him in something, and that whole album you're talking about, that was discussed at the dinner they were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what I would give to hear that album. But
who has it now? If that guy's in jail, I wonder who has it.
The government seized it. I don't know if it was ever auctioned off or what.
Okay.
Along those lines, TNT has another documentary series like that coming out that's about sports, and one of them's about Hulk Hogan and a sex tape.
That's already out.
Is that one out? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because when I was watching some of the NBA playoff stuff, I think that was on the TNT app. I
know the series started. I don't know what episodes are on. I'll have to go look on demand and see what there is.
Well, because then you have the Hulk Hogan movie coming out at some point where Hemsworth plays Hogan, doesn't he?
Yes. And then, well, to go with that...
Yeah, Hulk Hogan versus Gawker is what that one's called.
Yeah. Okay. And to go with it, the first episode of Dark Side of the Ring came out this past week. I haven't watched it yet, though.
What was that one based on?
I don't know what this one was. Because they released all the episodes. I don't remember what lined up. I think there's 8 of them this season, 8 or 10. It'll take you into August if you watch them week by week, which I think I'm going to.
Is this season 4?
I think so.
Because, here you go, May 30th, 2023. It just came out. Chris and Tammy, the teenage romance of wrestling prodigy Chris Candido and Tammy's son. Oh, Tammy Lynn
Cinch.
Oh, so Sonny from WWF, where she killed someone in a car crash or something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But Chris Candido was this great wrestler, did a lot of ECW stuff.
Okay.
Had routine surgery and died of a staph infection from the surgery.
Wow. And isn't this supposed to be the last season of Dark Side of the Ring? Because I thought Dark Side of the Ring was done by Vice.
Yes.
And Vice is going out of business. They're going bankrupt.
They went bankrupt. I didn't even think they were going to make this season because WWE stepped in and didn't want any more stories told.
Of course they wouldn't, would they?
Yeah.
but like you said, it's the dark side of wrestling.
Well, season 5, episode 1, Vince McMahon's sexual affairs.
Right, exactly. But yeah, no, season 4, episode 2 is going to be Shattered, the Magnum TA. Wrestling heartthrob Terry Magnum T.A. Allen was destined for worldwide stardom, but one rainy night altered his career and future of wrestling forever. Terry Magnum, does that sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay.
I'm curious. So, see, I never finished the Tales from the Territory, or whatever that show was called.
Okay.
I watched a couple episodes of that, and it was crazy. I need to go back and watch them, though.
Here, I'm trying to see. Here, go Digital Spy. Ring, it's for season 4. I gotta accept this. Okay, whatever. Adrian Adonis.
Yeah.
Doink the Clown. You already talked about Doink the Clown.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Junkyard Dog. Marty Jannetty. Bam Bam Bigelow should be a good one.
Yeah.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah.
What's the story behind WCW Bash at the Beach 2000? What happened there?
I don't remember.
I wonder why that's kind of. But regardless,
was that the last pay-per-view before Vince took over?
Maybe that sounds about the right timeline, right?
Yeah.
2000?
Yeah.
Maybe. And then the Graham family.
Graham, you said? So, like Superstar Billy Graham, probably, who just passed away. Yeah.
So, yeah, Doink's going to be the best one, I think. That's
so
funny, the Doink one. That's hilarious. But they're all entertaining. They're all
so good. Who was Lance Storm posted on Twitter that he's excited to watch the Chris Candido one because he recorded over 2 hours of interviews for it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
All right. So the last thing I have down that I watched, series finale of Barry came out.
Don't ruin it for me. I think I'm going to do a rewatch of the entire series because I don't remember enough from it. Because I think we stopped after season 2.
Okay. Each season for me got a little bit worse.
Oh, really? Okay.
Season 3 got really dark, and it was just hard to come back for season 4. And the way it ended was fine. It wasn't like a Dexter-type ending.
Okay.
In fact, I think the last 10 minutes of the finale were actually really good. But it just didn't have the charm of the first 2 seasons.
And the last, and tell me if I'm thinking incorrectly, last I remember was, what's it, Soho, what's his name? Soho.
Soho Hank.
Soho Hank was having Barry train his people to go fight some other people. Am I remembering correctly?
Did he go to the cabin with Kusano and his cop girlfriend?
I don't remember. See, I'm telling you, I have to rewatch the whole thing.
Rewatch it all.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
And it won't take long to get through. They're only 30-minute episodes or like 20-minute episodes or whatever.
Yeah, and it's only 8 to 10 episodes a season.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty quick to get through that. But because I have to, because Jen and I were fans of it, it's been so long between watching them, I just forget everything that's happening. But all right, that's your last one.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the other season finale hopefully tonight, or series finale.
Well, there, I'll get there.
Okay.
That's my last one on my list. So, watched a movie called The Sun with Hugh Jackman, and it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I seen it out there. If you look on Netflix, like the top 10 things, like the second or third top 10 movie was The Mother, and then the next one was The Son.
It's a trilogy that the guy's playing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
I just thought it was coincidence that the two showed up, but okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Because there's a movie called The Father, there's a movie called The Mother, and this one's called The Son. It is this guy's. I don't remember where this. I think he's French, a French director.
A French Catholic.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But The Son. Think of Beautiful Boy. The one with Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Kind of along the same lines. It's dark. This one's super dark. Things that you think are going to happen don't happen. Then something that you think will happen does happen. That's kind of, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
It was dark enough to where I wanted it. I started it and I kind of just needed to see how it played. I needed to see how it played.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a parent kind of thing, you're just watching this stuff just going, everything you watch that has something to do dark when it comes to being a parent, it's just like a nightmare that could be yours. It probably will never happen kind of thing, but you're just like, good Lord. When you sign up to be a parent, you just can never cover all the horrible things that could happen in life, you know?
Yeah.
But is it worth a watch? If you're ever feeling very down on a rainy day and you want to feel more depressed, go ahead and watch it. I'll say it that way.
I think I've gotten to the point where I can't watch that stuff anymore.
It's rough to get through.
Just because it's been a rough year for us.
Right. I hear you. But then I tried the She Said on Amazon Prime. It was about the Harvey Weinstein.
And is that the one with the girl from Euphoria, Sydney Sweeney?
I don't think she's in it. No,
okay,
I don't remember her being in it. No. If you'd asked me who were some big names in it, I couldn't remember any big names in it, to be honest with you. Right. I got about an hour in, and I had enough. I really did. It was just not for me. It felt like, and I described it like this, it felt like Handmaid's Tale, where I was into that show for about 3 seasons, and I'm just like, I think those are women. These are movies for women by women that really only women can connect to. Like when I try to connect, like I can respect the plight of being a woman. I just can't. I can't experience it the same way, and knowing how a woman lives day to day and the things they go through from a day to day time, all the struggles and all that stuff. Where I want to respect it, and the story is a big story. I forgot how the Weinstein started with Rose McGowan was a big deal. Yeah, about what he did to Rose McGowan. So it retells the story of all that stuff, and it's just like I just couldn't get through it. It wasn't capturing me in regards to needing to see the whole story, having it's something horrible that happened. Yeah, and it just I don't know. I just didn't feel like there was no need inside me to say I need to finish this for some reason. Yeah,
please tell me the next one is uplifting.
Let's see. No. Well, I'm gonna go through. Let's see. Oh, well, here, kind of. I guess Ant-Man 3. I did a rewatch of it because it's on Disney Plus. Again, not my favorite, but it's just a setup. It's a setup movie.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Along those lines, I start rewatching Love and Thunder.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I did not go back to revisit Love and Thunder. I haven't gone back to revisit Wakanda Forever. They're just those sequels of property that I'm just like, there's nothing there for me to really say I need to go back and rewatch those. There's where are we going to go with Wakanda Forever other than the fact that maybe down the line we'll get a new T'Challa.
Yeah.
It's grown up now because that's the biggest thing we learned from the end of the movie. But other than that, Love and Thunder, is this just the end of Chris Hemsworth as Thor? We're just not going to see him as Thor anymore?
Well, maybe not, because he said recently if someone came to him with a fresh idea, he'd be open to doing it.
See, and so that's why I just didn't revisit it. And it's not the best. It's not the best movie. But I did see a cool scene that was cut out of the movie. They put it online between him and Russell Crowe, the Zeus character.
Yeah.
And actually, I was like, why did you take that scene out? It's actually a pretty pivotal scene in the movie.
I'll have to go track that down.
You'll have to track it down. I don't recall exactly what it was about, but I was like, it definitely could have been left in and would have given Russell Crowe a little bit more to the movie, I guess. He would have had something more to chew on, I guess.
I will rewatch every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not more than once, but maybe I hope down the line something comes like in-game where you can appreciate it more, like in-game did for Dark World.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm hopeful of that.
Hopefully someone will pull it all together. The Good Nurse, that's on Netflix, wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It started off like a good, did this or did this not happen? It's a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to leave it at that. If you ever try to watch, if I give you too many details, it spoils the whole movie.
All right, I'm noting it down.
Jessica Chastain's in it. I'm not going to recommend it, to be honest with you. If you want to watch it, go for it. It's not a complete waste of your time. Eddie Redmayne is in it as well.
Okay.
So two well-known actors are in it. It's kind of very predictable. I'll say that is probably a knock against it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see how it ended. I wanted to see if it got darker than I thought it would, and it didn't. I don't know if that spoils anything for you, but
okay.
Me watching as many horror movies as I do, I was like, maybe this will get really dark, and I was looking forward to it, and it just didn't take that turn.
Yeah.
So, last movie I watched was Tender Bar. Did you watch Tender Bar on Amazon?
That's the Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck one. I thought you did.
Yeah, I did. Okay. A couple months ago.
Yeah, Tender Bar, and it has Cyclops.
Yeah,
on the newer version.
Ty Sheridan.
Yeah, he's in it. Good movie. Good drama.
It is.
Yeah, it falls in line with the movies we were just talking about, like Air and Tetris and stuff like that would never survive out in the theater.
Yeah.
But since I caught it on Amazon Prime, really good movie. I liked it a lot. Coming of age memoir, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah, and not like the comedy type one that we get a lot of. A little more serious, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I recommend that one as one of the better ones I've watched.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let me go over to the TV show side of things. Yellowstone. Watched the premiere and the second episode.
Okay.
And I get the hype a little bit. I think I need to press through because someone told me the same thing, that they had struggled through the first couple episodes, but then eventually it really picks up big time. So I'm looking forward to that as far as getting deeper into that mythos, because I know there's the prequel shows as well.
Yeah.
I like the idea. It makes me wish I lived out in Montana. That's all it really does, to be honest.
It's just been so hyped up for me. I don't know if I'm going to.
And that's the other problem. It's been so hyped up. I don't know if it's going to live up to the hype. So far, no. By all means, no, it does not live up to the hype.
And it's also been hyped up by a lot of ultra-conservative people I know.
Okay.
So that kind of impacts it, too. Okay.
And see, that's the other thing. As far as political, no, there's not a lot of... I see where there's politics in the show.
Yeah.
No, I'm not seeing that by any means.
It's the type of people that I usually say, hey, I watched this movie, and they're like... No, I have no clue what it is.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you think about stuff I see, and then think about, like, the typical demographic of Yellowstone, it makes a little more sense.
Okay. No, I mean, but there's nothing in there that makes you go, this is just not for me. It could be. It makes me feel like when people hyped up, like, think about people that had never seen Sons of Anarchy. They try to jump in on like season 6 or something like that. How many seasons? 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you go, if you weren't there at the beginning, you missed the progression. And so now that it's been overhyped and people love it so much, and that there's prequel shows now about it, and it's growing. It's its own thing.
There's all
now.
kinds of them.
Maybe I missed the train. You know what I mean? I missed it, and maybe it's beyond me at this point. But I'll give it a go. I'll try. But it's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe the more I get into it, the better it will be. Succession, finally, the series finale. It's over.
Yes,
it's worth it. You should dive in. It's totally worth it. And I'm glad they followed the formula of a good HBO show that says enough is enough. We can only do so many things with this story, and it is a jacked up family drama to the nth degree with too much money, too much power. They made something that you would think couldn't be exciting, and they made it exciting and enthralling. So yeah, Succession is worth it. It's it's an HBO classic at this point. I think it falls in line with the best of all time HBO shows.
I'm excited to watch it. I don't know if I should just start it on my own and then go back and tell Aaron about it, or if I should just like be upfront, like let's watch this one.
Yeah,
we haven't finished House of Dragons yet, so I should probably just start it on my own.
You need to, because she'll never catch up with you on that. And this one's a little bit longer because remember these are hour, and the finale was an hour and a half. It was long from the finale, but
and there's like 4 or 5 seasons.
4 seasons. So not impossible to get through, but again, hour episodes pretty much, 45 to an hour episodes.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and Brian Cox he's up there with the Clint Eastwoods and the who's the why is his name escaping me from Breaking Bad? Bryan Cranston's. He's up there with the Bryan Cranston's. Clint Eastwood. The guys can do the gruff. I'm going to use that adjective of gruff. He's got the gruff, and I love it. I love his portrayal. Series finale of Ted Lasso. I can't believe you didn't watch it. How far behind are you?
I think we're 3 episodes behind.
So the biggest, I guess, knock against Ted Lasso for season 3 was, I guess people were just like, maybe it's dragging. So again, getting out at the right time.
Yeah.
Perfect series finale.
Okay.
Perfect series finale.
So
no spoilers. I'm just saying I loved it. I thought it. And then if you asked, did I cry?
I've heard the last 2 episodes are really good.
My eyes were watering pretty heavy. How about that? They were watering pretty heavy, but no, not full on ugly cry or anything like that.
So I learned something today about it. This season was written by Jason Sudeikis in place of Bill Lawrence.
Yep.
I felt early on in the season something was missing, and Will said, before the Amsterdam episode, Will said, I'm not enjoying this season as much. They're not focusing on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I think that's my issue. And then they did the Amsterdam episode, and I was back in. 100% back in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good season. It's a great finale. It wraps up the way it needed to wrap up.
Yeah.
And it's in line with the mythos that is the Ted Lasso. And I'll just leave it at that. I can't wait till you watch it. We'll dive in a little bit more when you actually get around to watching it.
We can talk about it next week. But Bill Lawrence said when he was comparing it, he compared it to Star Wars, and each season is one of the episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And I can see that because season 2 ended with Nate being Darth Vader and cutting off Ted Lasso's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's a good comparison. It really is, and I'm glad they're tapping out where it should, because there's not much more to the story that
they're not officially tapping out.
Could you revisit it, or could you spin off? Yeah,
they're gonna spin off. I can guarantee they spin off. How yet? I don't know. I can't say. We can talk about that next week.
Okay.
But I want my Coach Beard Amsterdam episode to find out how he came in the Kiss makeup.
Beard's the best. Beard's so great.
I love Coach Beard.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, we'll do a bigger deep dive on Lasso once you finish it, because it's worth the time to talk about.
Yeah, and I've got to say that part of the reason my renaissance in soccer is because of that show. That in City SC.
Yeah, it's good that it's kind of funny how they kind of line up like that.
Yeah,
it helps. It helps a lot.
Very much so.
And then the last one I got for you is an Apple show called Platonic. It's with Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne.
I'm one episode in.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. She watched without me, and there's, I think, 4 episodes out. And I don't. This is why I get mad at the whole week by week. It pisses me off because I gotta wait. But yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes But
I gotta say, I kind of like the episodic wait a week for it. It's nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
And it gives me something to look forward to. Like, every Monday, I'm like, oh, I'm going to turn on Barry first thing. Because that aired the night before. So I think when the kids go out of town in 2 weeks, Aaron and I will get caught up. I'm going to stop. I'm going to we'll watch it together, and then it'll be something we can catch up on each week.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good, and I'm wondering if it's going to be predictable. I'm hoping it's not too predictable as far as where the story's going. I don't think it will. I don't think it's going to go the way I think it will, and I hope not.
I love the chemistry between Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne.
I do, because of Neighbors.
Yes.
They have that chemistry is already there, and that's why I think that's why the show works really well. Because he saw them together already. I wonder if they're friends in real life, kind of thing. It makes me question that, because she already has a show on Apple.
Yeah, some aerobic show or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, and so I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm jonesing for Silo, but I'm going to let Silo go all the way through because I've heard so many good things about it. So
I've decided
it's going to be a cool sci-fi one.
I decided I'm going to hold off on that until I read it. And I put my hold in at the library, and I'm 4 of 7 right now.
Okay. And is it a book or a graphic novel?
It's a book. It's a trilogy.
Okay. The trilogy book. Okay. So yeah. Oh, I don't know. I got too many other things to read in front of that. So
But
I'm sure that trying to get a copy of it's not going to be easy with the show being popular now. I'm sure. So.
Yeah. It's kind of good because I have other stuff I have that I can read until it gets here.
Okay. And then, the very, very last thing I'll share with you, though, is I tried Firefly.
Yes.
Sending it back to the library, Jay.
No.
God awful. Cannot stand it. I think it's garbage.
No.
I do not like it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the last episode of Nyrdcast.
The graphics are dated.
They are dated.
The dialogue is just boring the crap out of me. The story is going nowhere. It goes nowhere. Yeah. I wish it were better. I wanted to enjoy it because I know you're a big fan, and I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about it and revisit it with my experience it. But I can't get through it. It's a Western mixed in with a sci-fi thing where it kind of reminds me of Westworld a little bit in that way. But man, I want it to be so much better because I love Nathan Fillion in it. And he's the only bright spot. No,
you don't like Wash, Alan Tudyk?
Yeah, Tudyk's okay in it, but Kaylee's she's as adorable as can be, and she's so super cute. But I'm not connecting with these characters. I'm not connecting with the story. You got the Summer Glau weird thing going on where she was in a freezer box or something like that. I'm going, what is going on? Maybe I gotta keep going. I would have to push through, I guess, because again, there's not much to go. There's only one season of it, right? No. So there's not like I can. But they drag. The episodes drag. There's no action to get me through this stuff. I didn't the story along.
So I didn't find they dragged, but I felt like it got better as it went along. And like a lot of things, I think it would have really found its footing as it went along, but Fox canceled it so soon. Yeah. There's been a lot of media after the fact that's helped. So like the movie was really good. The books, I fly through the books.
Oh, really?
They've done comics of it. I don't know how much more is going to come out though, because Joss Whedon is toxic at this point.
Exactly. So yeah, and maybe that's impacting me. Maybe that's impacting me as well. Just doing that.
I mean, it could subconsciously.
He's the voice of the and he's the voice of the show. That's all his writing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if that's impacting me, but I'm just bored to death of it. This is not for me, man. I can't get through it. I just can't.
So at the time period where
I got other stuff to watch, so I'm tapping out. I'm going to focus on other stuff that I actually want to get around to.
At the time period it came out, it fit really well. But there's been so much good sci-fi stuff that has come out since. Because, I mean, at that point, you had no sequel trilogy to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Trek was kind of dormant. So for the time period, it was really good. I agree the effects are dated at this point. They look pretty bad.
They're awful. No, they're Sci-Fi Channel awful. But for the time, I understand.
Yeah, and it was a Fox show, so it kind of fits with the sci-fi level of it.
Yeah. So,
Hi, Emmy.
Hi.
Anyway, so yeah, no, that was the only other thing I gave some attention to. Otherwise, that is my entire list of what I've watched.
So if you got to the movie Chudi Ejiofor, Mordo from the Doctor Strange movies, he's got a role in it. He's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the weird Reverend guy. He's in it. I don't know who that guy. He's been in things. There's a Baldwin in it. I don't know.
Jane. Jane's great.
He's annoying. He annoys me in it. He's Mr. Tough Guy, and I'm just like, I'm not buying him as a tough guy.
That was pre-Chuck days.
Yeah. Okay. See, so I don't know, man. It's just not for me. It's just not.
Well, I will stick with it, even though you won't. So
I knew you'd be disappointed. I knew that was going to hurt you, but I just had to. I can't do. There's too much other stuff to get through.
All right. We didn't touch on it at the beginning. I drank a Bluewood Brewing Arch City Haze.
Oh, look at that. Awesome. That's
they
a cool can
just
right there.
started distribution in St. Louis. It's the first beer I've had from them. It's really good. I've followed them on Facebook since the start. I kind of know the brewer.
Okay.
I want to get down there and try it. And then I followed it up with an OJ run.
Oh, very nice. So out of how many pints? How many do you give it?
I'd give that one 4.5. OJ runs 5 out of 5.
Well, yeah, OJ runs 5 out of 5. I give it, even I've had that. I can rate that one.
That was at the Schnucks out by me, so.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, that's all I've got for you this week then, sir.
All right, me too.
All right, man. Until next time, I'll talk to you.
All right. Bye, Emmy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on our website, Nyrdcast.com. It's Nyrdcast. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching @Nyrdcast. The intro music is The Other Side by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a Mad Dog remix made by Madeline Tierney. This week's featured track is Tiny Bodyguard by Super Bloom.
My tiny bodyguard, she fills the emptiness into my